In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create this holidays kind of Christmas tree background. Nothing too intricate or anything too detailed. Really just a very simple tutorial because I haven't made a tutorial in a while and a lot of people have been asking me to do a Photoshop tutorial. So here is your holiday themed Photoshop tutorial. I will be having a GIMP tutorial out sometime soon once I get a tutorial idea. I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's going to work, so bear with me. So I'm going to be showing you how to create this kind of holiday background with a Christmas tree. The more I look at it, the less it looks like a Christmas tree, but might as well show you how I made this. So go ahead and open up a new image, and if you're going to be making a wallpaper, then you need to make it the size of your desktop resolution. So just go ahead and enter in whatever settings you want. Then grab your gradient tool and make sure your gradient is on foreground to background. And for your foreground color, you can always change your color to whatever you want. But for this tutorial, I will be choosing a greenish color. Hope this looks okay. The HTML notation, in case you're wondering, is 2F6328. Then you make sure your background color is on black, and then just stroke. Make sure your gradient type is on radial, and then just stroke from about the center out to one of the corners of the image. Then create a new layer. Make sure your foreground and background color on black and white. And then go to Filter, Render Clouds. Then set this layer mode onto Soft Light. And to change the layer mode of a layer, just in your Layers window, go over to the side and there's a drop down menu and select Soft Light. Now create another new layer and grab your paintbrush tool and just choose. This might depend on the size of your image, but I'm going to be choosing the size 32 brush, and open up your brushes window. So just go to Window, Brushes, and check Shape Dynamics. And what we're going to do is turn up the size jitter to 100%. And if you have a tablet, then make sure Control is on pen pressure. Then go to check scattering, and we're going to scatter it by around 300 and count on 1. So that's my settings, and what you want to do is I'm going to be using my tablet, and I'm just going to make a kind of swirly shape in the general shape of a, make sure your foreground color is on white. And I'm going to be making just the general shape of a Christmas tree, but in a swirling motion, and that looks really bad. So I'm gonna pause the video because it might take me a while to get something I'm happy with, and it'll probably end up looking really bad anyway. So here I have drawn a kind of swirly shape in the general shape of a Christmas tree. Yes, I know it doesn't really look that great, but go ahead and duplicate this layer, and you can do that by pressing Control J while you're on that layer. Hide one of the layers by pressing the little eye icon next to it, and just select the layer that you did not hide. And go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'm going to blur it by about 5. Then press Control U on your keyboard. That will open up the hue saturation window, and down here in the bottom, check Colorize. Then turn down lightness to about -46, turn up saturation a little, and I'm going to change hue to a greenish color. So my settings are hue 122, saturation 56, lightness -58. Then select OK. Now set this layer mode onto Soft Light. Actually, Overlay might work better. You can always play around with that. Then unhide the duplicated layer and just lower the opacity of that layer a little, just so that you can kind of see through it. So I lowered the opacity down to around 46, Now you can add a new layer and just grab your paintbrush tool again, and as you can see in this wallpaper, I created a little star kind of thing at the top. You can do that as well. I don't think I'm going to though for this tutorial, but to do that you can just do the same thing I did for the Christmas tree, but instead when you change the color of it, just change it to a kind of creamyish yellow color. But now it's time to add our text, so go and grab your text tool and type in whatever you want. And make sure your text color is on white. And if you're wondering, the font I'm using is called Candace, and I'll leave a link to where you can download that in the description. So go ahead and just position your text wherever you want it to be, and we're going to open up the Layer Styles dialog or window. So just double click on the layer to open that up, and as you can see I already have some settings saved, so I went ahead and applied that save style to it, if that made sense. Check drop shadow, and you can always adjust these. Now some of these will need to be changed depending on the size of your image. So for drop shadow I have distance to size 10, inner glow, opacity 49, color is on the default yellow creamy color, size 16. Now you might need to change this, so you might need to either make the size larger or smaller depending on the size of your text. So and then color overlay, I put blend mode on soft light and opacity on 71, and I just chose this dark greenish color. The HTML notation is 225922. Press Control and then click on this little icon next to the layer. Control click on that and then create a new layer above your text layer. Then grab your ellipse select tool, and in case you don't know how to get that, just right click on this and then it should say elliptical marquee tool. Then make sure up here is on intersect with selection, just select that, and we're going to make a circle selection just on the top of that text, so about like that. Then grab your gradient tool, make sure your foreground color is on white, and grab the foreground to transparent gradient. Then just stroke from the bottom, from the top of the text down to the bottom. Oops, and make sure your type is on linear. And then select, deselect. And you can lower the opacity of this just a little. And now you have a nice gloss to your text. So that's it pretty much. I just showed you all the techniques, and you can always play around with this, change whatever, you don't have to make a Christmas tree, you can do whatever. And that's pretty much it for the whole effect.